down by the shore. Pirates in the port of paradise.
I forget what it's. I think it's Sour OG.
Ruined mariners marinated, swinging one north with their heads and fingers sore.
It's a Delta 8 question mark.
No.
Oh, it's a
in paradise. Pirates in the bay, taking what they may. Iron and gold aboard, what decorates indoors. Taking home decor. Please, not a horde more. It's the pirates of paradise.
And it's over. Pirates of Paradise listeners.
It's great to be back. This will be the one coming out the 18th, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because we recorded for the 4th, the 11th. I think this will... Or no, did we already do the 18th and this will be the 25th?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. So, dude, I hope that everyone who listens to this has had... I hope that the us who listens to this when it premieres for like the first 5 seconds are having a good month. I hope that we are. And before we began recording, we were talking about... I went out with a friend of mine, and I had a draft beer because it was happy hour. And the reason I had a draft beer, well, outside of the fact that drafts were half off, is because buying any other drink would have been super expensive. And I think frequently, if I am trying to get drunk, what I will do is buy a bottle of gin to accompany the tonic water I have. Because I have a lot of tonic water that I am just sitting on, waiting
do you just bring it with you? Do you just bring it with you and go, just the gin, I got tonic?
No,
do you whip out a tonic at the bar?
Yeah, no, like give me a couple shots of gin, and you just dribble. You drink. You put a little tonic water in the cap, right? And you go like, and then you pour a little bit. It takes forever to it's awful. It's awful, and everyone hates you.
Yeah, give me a cap of your best gin, and I'll cap it with my tonic water.
Yeah. I bought it. I was just curious about what tonic water tasted like on its own. I enjoy gin and tonic, and I was like, let's see what's up with this. And I had a sip, and I was like, oh, I need the gin, right? And then so I just haven't bought gin because it's very infrequent that I'm like, I should be drinking. Except at the last board meeting.
The month of May for me.
Well, fair. But at the last board meeting, we had, I had an alcoholic slushy, a slushy with alcohol in it. And
where did you procure this from? Was it house made?
No, Becky said she got it from like a beer store that's apparently within walking distance.
Because most gas stations have those, and also all sheets.
Oh,
they got a boozy beverage.
It truly is not the worst move. Like I think boozy milkshake. I would fuck it up. A boozy slushy.
A bottle of tequila, and slowly emptied it into tequila sunshines, which I made with Tang and orange juice over the course of like 4 or 5 days. Empty the bottle, and then the most satisfying piss into a bottle I'd ever had was pissing into a large glass tequila bottle that looked like a pyramid.
There. You know what? That does sound like a pretty satisfying bottle piss.
It was very good. It was very good. I felt like a king.
That's one figure out you can't invert. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
You can put the cap on. You can do what you like with it.
No, this is true.
Smash on a playground if you want. Don't do that. It's not advised.
I was thinking about the time we broke those. You threw those ceramic baby shoes that one time. Do you remember that? Like way back in the day. I think we might have been with. Who were we with? We were in Hauserville for sure.
Perhaps you may have done this activity separately with my cousin. But I for sure thrown ceramic something or other at one time.
Yeah, I think that you were like. You were on a bike. It was before you. Who was I with? Oh man. Anyway, we had breakable objects for the purposes of breaking. We ran into you or some such. But you were on your bike. You were definitely. This was back when you still worked at Giant. And you smashed an object and then you rode off on your bike. It was pretty cool. It was a good time. Man, I guess. I don't know, man. I could spin the wheel.
Oh, you could spin the wheel.
I could spin the wheel.
I think the bit I was going to say about happy hour earlier or half off drafts is it would be a great business enterprise to start a bar called the Half Off Draft, but spell it like apostrophe DR Wait. Yeah. An abbreviated version of the animal giraffe who roams the savannah, but like with an apostrophe beforehand. You know what I mean?
It's the restaurant for
And then
coaches.
it looks like it's the building is sculpted as such, and you
Okay,
like
okay.
climb through the. But that the half off drafts are half below a gory, severed
If we can get some
midsection of
pelts
a
in there,
draft.
hell yeah. We need to get some pelts in there. Like it's sort of like
Oh yeah, there's
it's
like a
sort
for
of
sure like a pelt where like a men's warehouse, but like for pelts above.
yeah. If it could be like maybe like one third like exotic animal owning Texan, one third I guess Muter Museum, and one third I don't know, sort of like fashion pop up. You know how those things are staged, so it's
Mhm.
like you're just in a cool person's home, and you have to be able to buy some of their shit. Like if it was some like right there, I think you could
Yeah, a
definitely do some
curio
really
shop.
cool. Yes, a
Yes,
curio shop.
I've
Um,
always okay. In addition to the draft half, the half draft half house. Yeah,
House.
yeah, yeah.
Zach Gaff House.
Yeah.
This is
Zach,
my favorite.
yeah, Zach,
Zach Gaff Yes, I like that bit more than I thought
Zach
it
draft house, half
would.
draft,
Yes, yes.
the half giraffe half draft house,
the half half draft drafts. The
the half
draft
drafts
half
over
drafts
or
half
at
draft drafts.
the
There we
half draft house.
go. Because I was saying the half drafts half draft drafts are half off draft themed draft beers served at the half draft, right? And I think that's the best version that I can do. I think that's all I got. Oh man! But that being said, I have a wheel.
Spin the wheel, yes.
The roll will spin. Successful spin. That's cool.
Sound effects. Clean
What's
zoom
your
in. Rations fashions. What does that even mean?
Rations fashions? Okay, so what have we been eating? What have we been wearing? There, I think that was what we were going for. I actually could talk
Today I've eaten 2 salt bagels with whipped cream cheese.
salt bagels.
Salt bagels.
Just bagels that are also salted. Okay.
The topping is salt. You have an onion bagel. You have a chocolate chip bagel. I bought 2 salt bagels. Eaten from a funeral
Okay.
charcuterie.
Yes. With whipped cream cheese.
A
Whipped cream cheese
funerary
is a problem.
festival. I've been wearing sweatpants with shorts under them as boxers because I need to do my laundry, and I wore that to the funeral.
Oh,
I was so
God.
happy because somebody else was late. So
Yeah,
I was like,
that was worse.
what we're looking at is you being late, not my sweatpants. And then my grandpa was injured, like he injured his knee and had to get like a cortisone shot before this funeral. And so he was hobbling. And I'm like, yeah, you're hobbling, you're late, not my sweatpants.
That is really
It
fortunate.
was really
We
good.
should thank God for those things. Or that if I were leading a post funeral prayer, like a wake prayer, if I were you, I think you would have mentioned those things, and no one would have been able to say anything because it's a prayer, and you can't say anything about my prayer.
I realized how little respect I have for my parents' religious faith because they hired their friend who is both a sheets pilot for
Yes.
like he like flies the
Oh, yes, you
CEO
told me about
around,
that guy. Yeah.
and a church pastor, and they hired him for the ceremony because they're like, she like went to their church or whatever for a little bit, and she knew these people, and the dude giving the service started playing his acoustic guitar and
Man,
singing like
during
they.
what part?
He was like, and now a song, and then he started playing guitar for like
Oh,
3 songs.
during the service, he played
Yes.
guitar.
Yeah,
Dude,
he was officiating it.
dude.
This Sheets pilot was who was officiating my grandmother's
It was.
funeral was
It
like, and
wasn't
now
like her
let's sing a
favorite song
song.
or anything.
No, he was just like, let's play 3 songs.
Let's play 3
Three
songs.
songs. And
Oh,
I just listened to this dude play guitar and sing songs that my grandparents didn't know and I didn't know and
no one
none of
knew.
my cousins knew. because we.
So
Anyway.
who knew the songs?
So just the people I didn't know who were at my grandmother's funeral from like
Okay.
various churches and like elderly organizations were there.
Oh, so it only alienated your family from your own
Yeah, I was
family
like,
from your relative's funeral?
yeah, it was weird. It was so strange.
That does sound really strange, Christ. But
Yeah,
at least no one noticed your sweatpants and your shorts. That was.
yeah, it was good. It was good. But then
Man,
also I noticed that the plot that where we had buried her little ash box was
yes,
still very quite disturbed in the ground. Like
yeah,
the grass had not grown
like
over well.
fair,
It's
fair.
been raining,
Well,
so I'm like, oh, is it gonna? If it hasn't gotten any better after all this rain, it's not. It's gonna be a little. We might need to get it redone.
no, this is true. You might have to see
I
that
might have to
again.
go back for a fourth funeral session.
Yeah.
If you're a
This time,
Sheets pilot, play another 3 funeral songs.
exactly. This time you'll play. I don't know. What would someone tilling land listen to? Not Cotton Eye Joe, but some sort of hickey something for turning over soil. Uh, yeah, that funerals are weird, and
I'm gonna have to
I
sage
don't.
it. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
sage it. Oh, also there was like so many interesting things that people said at her funeral. Like somebody
Mhm.
was like, who is from the I don't know them, I never met you crowd. Um, they were like, yeah, at the elder center, there was somebody there who your grandma said, don't touch him, he's mine.
Wait. Oh, whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
She
It's
had a
like
little bow, a little boy toy.
she had a little boy.
Little,
She had a 91-year-old boy toy or something. I
yeah,
think.
yeah. What a man activity? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know what you call an almost expired boy toy.
yeah, yeah. Half
Yeah.
off over at the half
A,
drop
a
shop.
man collectible. You can't do anything with it, but you can look at it. You know what I'm saying? You can hold it sometimes.
It's like when you rip the legs off of Barbie Ken,
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
put
with
him
you.
through like a world war, and like put him on. This is what happens
No, exactly.
when you put a dude on VA benefits and he eats at Perkins every day for 35 years.
Oh man. Oh man. What else did so how was it mostly people that you didn't know, would you say? Or
It
not?
was about 50-50. It was about 50-50,
Or
yeah.
okay, okay.
And then like some woman was like, and then for Christmas she asked us to make Hanukkah cards, and then we did. I'm like, what are you fucking chewing up my Irish Catholic grandmother's funeral? I don't know.
Wait, so
It was
as a
weird. It was
Christmas
weird.
gift to Jewish people, you made Hanukkah cards?
I guess my
No.
grandmother was just like, I mean, if I want you to feel included in the holiday card making, so I suppose that we can make you some Hanukkahs or something.
That's, I think
It's
that is
really cute. It's
precious.
really cute.
It's
But it's
even
like
better if you don't understand Hanukkah.
yeah, it
If
was weird though, because like my family's like a weird religious. Like they're like, because I guess
Mhm.
like the first people in my entire family to be religious were like my grandparents, who like stumbled out of a stupor of alcoholism in like 1930, and were like, I guess we'll be religious or something. I don't know. Couple
heard,
wild boys.
heard. So those are the parents of your
My
as
dad,
in
yeah, my dad.
yes, okay, okay, interesting.
And then I
And so
guess,
they raised him in that post-alcoholism stupor, rigid Christian structure.
oh yeah, 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 like a couple
Okay.
generations. Well, I could see any number of my family members being sucked into like a Jim Jones cult.
Fair. Man, that is an interesting. That is interesting. That is an interesting perspective. Or an interesting, I guess. The thing that I don't go. Tim Dillon has a bit about how he loves to go to funerals, and I don't think that I share that sentiment necessarily.
I've
But
been to 4 times as many funerals as I have weddings.
interesting. Wow. I have never been. I don't think I've ever been to a wedding. I've been to.
I was a flower. No, I think I watched. I remember watching a flower girl at a wedding in Maine at some point
Okay.
of like my godparents. I think their kid.
Heard. Heard.
And then I was at
Interesting.
one of technically a voided wedding because it was like one of 3 of my half sisters' weddings.
Yes. But the thing I was going to say though is that I I feel like you never really it's not until someone dies you realize how much that you don't know about them, let's say.
Oh,
And
absolutely. Yeah, it was
yeah,
on the
and I
way
think
out.
that maybe if you were to invite me to a funeral and it weren't rude of me, let's say, I would spend a lot of time asking questions. And I give good hugs, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, oh my
2
God.
hugs for
I
every
would
one
love
question,
to
you know what I'm saying?
infiltrate like a long, like a mandatory invest where you send out the invite to anybody who's on like a list of some sorts, and then you spend the entire time being like, "What do you remember? What do you remember? Are you just here for the funeral fashions?
Yeah, no, exactly.
are you just
Well,
here?
and
Are you just here to wear black and eat my snacks?
ooh,
Eat my
yeah,
snacks at a
that
funeral buffet?"
that is a good question because, and hear me out, especially if we have any pirates in the audience, anyone who sails through the port of paradise now and then, who has a death in the family, especially if you're an ethnic person and your family makes good ethnic food, even if you're just some sort of Mick or some sort of wop,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
even
It's very
a death in
yes.
the mick of time, or a death in the ethnic of time.
A Mick death in the nick of time.
Yeah, a mick
This
death in
thing will
ethnic
pig
of
out at your
times.
Mick. Oh my
At the
gosh.
half, get giraffe giraffe.
Yeah. No, but I really, I mean, if I have if I don't know, maybe we would maybe be on the podcast. If I come to your funeral, if you would also be on the podcast, I would appreciate it just so there's something else for me to do, let's say. But I'm always down to honor the dead.
I would go to a celebrity funeral, like if it was like an open casket, open service,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
for like royalty. Like I'm pretty sure Lady Di had like a publicly attended funeral, right?
I feel like I think so. I think so. I feel like Barack Obama. I would go to Barack Obama's
Oh
funeral
my
because I feel
God,
like many.
Barack
Think about how
Obama
many fly
drank
honeys would
at
be there,
Nelson Mandela's funeral with like a shit with like Hillary Clinton and shit.
dude.
How many
Think
children
about.
do you think were sacrificed that night?
Ooh, if they are sacrificing them, dude. I like the idea that they sacrifice
I
children,
like
but
the
they still
idea
like
that
Nelson Mandela.
Mandela is remembered more for the Mandela effect than for anything Nelson Mandela ever did.
Well, no. Well, hold on. I do like the
Like in
idea
his later
more.
years, he became synonymous with the Berenstein Bears.
That is true. That is true. But I don't know. I actually okay. So hold on. I'm going to say two things. One, there are probably going to be a lot of fly honeys at Barack Obama's funeral. I think that's definitely going to be
Oh,
pretty true.
absolutely.
I think that I could clean up at Barack Obama's funeral. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I don't know what their ages are, but I feel like they're contemporary with us. Malia and Sasha Obama?
That's a good question. Okay, now
On your
this is
best
really a
day, could you
podcast.
pull one?
Okay, let me think about this. Let me really think about it. You know what? Kid John, can you figure out if there are age contemporaries first, and also what do they look like? I have no idea what they look like. I mean,
I know one of them had like a whoo drop recently. And then by that I mean a flattering photo shoot.
very-
And Secret Service, we're sorry.
in fact, no, I'm not sorry. I'm just saying that I might try and get in the family. You know what I'm saying? I might. I think I could.
Okay. Sasha Obama, 20 years old.
Okay, age
And
contemporary.
Malia is older, younger? This is tenuous.
Yeah.
I feel like they're within a year of each other, so I think we're Gucci, but Malia Obama. 1998, 2001, we're good. Woo!
Okay. Yeah. 1998, 2001. That's fucking funny. Anyway,
One when the first World Trade Tower bombing, one
yes.
went right after,
Yeah. Exactly. Those
or right before June 10th, 2 days ago. 2 days ago was the birthday of
her.
Malia.
Ooh, happy birthday, Malia, if you listen. So I think. Oh, where do they go to school? Do you know where they go to school? Hold on. I mean, I guess I could.
Probably, yeah. I have it open,
Yeah.
but I could.
Yeah.
This is. They don't have separate Wikipedia pages. They went to University of Chicago Laboratory School. Malia
wants to be
Obama spent 2016 working as an intern in the U.S. Embassy in Madrid. Sasha works at a seafood restaurant in Martha's Vineyard. Worked in. Oh my God! Malia Obama started an internship for Harvey Weinstein.
That's really interesting. Oh yeah, because apparently,
Malia's
I'm wondering.
at Harvard and is going,
Yeah.
and Sasha's going to U Michigan.
Yes. So
U
and
Michigan is
Malia.
kind of whack for a presidential child, but it's also kind of cool to see them in a state school, I guess.
This is true. I don't know. I think it depends on what they're studying. I think that I know that the Ann Arbor campus has one of the better materials engineering programs. So I don't know. So I guess
Is she
whatever
going to
that
be a
is.
materials engineer?
I don't know what presidents' daughters do outside of intern for Harvey Weinstein. I'm just finding out.
Yes.
I'm just finding this
in
out.
2017, I could imagine that being the precipitating event that caused him to leave office.
My daughter?
You fuck with my daughter. I put a cap in your ass with a drone.
Oh my gosh,
Harvey.
that's really fucking funny.
Obama started gain of function research to poison Harvey Weinstein in prison.
Fair. So here's what I'll say about the Obamas. I think I could get in the family. I think that I saw one. I think like the president, like the Wikipedia for people who stalk the president, apparently, or the president's family, that she was dating a cat named Malia, at least since 2017, has been dating a cat named Rory Far. It's like Quar.
Farquaad.
No, it's Farquharson.
Farquaad. Lord Farquaad.
Yes. Imagine that person, but Middle Eastern, I think, and named Rory. So Rorik. What is Rory short for? Is it Rorik? Is it
Amory? I don't know.
Is it? Yeah, no, I don't know. So it's short for Sator. I don't know. He's a Japanese Middle Eastern person. Anyway. The moral of the story is, I know I'm not. I didn't get the hard.
You just skimmed right over that. He's a Japanese Middle East.
Yes. I've decided that in my imagination. But here's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that I could compete.
You saying we got a Japan?
If we were both,
we got.
If we were both trying to get.
I'm not going to let you skim over this.
I think me and this Harvard dude could maybe compete on the same level in the microcosm.
We got a Japarab on our hands?
Wait, I'm sorry?
We got a Japarab on our hands? A Japarab beetle?
Japarab! Oh man, Japarab sounds like the opposite of jihad. Like it sounds like if you were to, in the name of God, be aggressively.
That's like whenever you hit this think of the burning bush or something like that. That sect of religion.
We're gonna go on an adventure so I can fill my water. Speaking of, I guess, man. Well, actually, no. I guess I can add to the ration. I haven't done my ration of fashion. So right now I'm wearing a long T-shirt and no pants. But I guess I've also kind of been wearing the same underwear for a long period of time. No, not like a long period of time. Just like 30 hours. Just like 30 hours.
Isn't that a Kanye song?
I've been wearing the same underwear for 30 hours?
30 hours.
It might be. But actually, I can do, if we want to see something.
I believe he soft rhymes 30 hours with dirty drawers.
That's not a terrible half rhyme.
It's not a terrible half rhyme. He's like, I've been wearing these dirty drawers about 30 hours.
We could talk about these as they are meant for a wearable eventually.
What is that?
It is. These are some of my prototype like laminated triboelectric nano generators. They generate a small voltage. Oh, dude, I forgot I have Milky Ways. I don't know why I accepted. I don't know why I accepted this candy. I don't intend to eat it. Like I like to. Here's something I've been doing. Okay, I'll buy one Laffy Taffy because they cost like 10 cents or some shit like that, right?
Do you just buy it?
I'll buy it.
Shake that Laffy and then you can just walk out of a corner store.
Oh well, no. I purchase it and then I simply look at it for a while and throw it away eventually. And
do you need it between your fingers on the subway to ward off predators?
You know what? I would, were it not for the potential of sticky fingers, because I do.
No, that's the whole point.
Like,
you give them a sticky slap if they get close to you.
Sticky slap.
Then if they smell like banana, it's like the ink packets that banks give you when you rob them. They can be identified by drug dogs that have been trained on Laffy Taffy.
There's one of the first superheroes. One of the first superheroes was the Phantom, and he wore a ring that if he struck you, you would have a scar in the shape of the skull, and it's the exact same sort of thing. You smell like bananas, it makes you more likely to get sexually assaulted in prison. It no matter how broad your shoulders is, if you smell fruity enough, you know, the prison industrial complex.
God, they're gonna lick you like the original, you know, like the wallpaper from Willy Wonka that is made out of Jolly Ranchers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna lick your skin that.
But as far as that was the fashions aspect is the 30-hour underwear. That's just because I've been trying to be busy. I've been doing a lot of stuff today, and I did not begin by shower. I think I showered Friday morning.
Because it makes me feel better about not showering.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm probably like that's one of the outside of burning a jazz cigarette, taking a nap maybe. And that'll probably be the third thing that I do after the show. But on the rations end, I've been eating a lot of fish.
I said it first, I think.
You did.
Okay,
but I've been eating a lot of fish and taking those. Recently, I remember speaking about Joe Rogan shitting explosively when he began the carnivore diet.
Oh my god! I love him talking about how watery and/or grease filled, like emptying a grease trap his gut is after the keto diet.
Oh, gross! That's fucked
That's
up,
what
man.
I want to listen to.
Oh yeah, so not to be that graphic necessarily, but stools are loose in my household right now. You know what I'm saying?
Sloppy Joe.
Let me prepare this. I need a screwdriver to prepare this.
I don't even know what he's gonna do. He could pull out a gun, like a small gun, and shoot himself in the mouth, like the Bjork, the Bjork stalker. I don't know what's going on. I just hear laughing from the other room. He's gonna do it. He's on his way. This is the end of the Pirates of Paradise. Thank you for listening.
About one little screwdriver for you. You take a screwdriver, bro, and you go like this. You take a little terminal block. What this is a little. Here we go. I suppose this is my camera, right? You're using it, right? So. Now, there's a dude on YouTube who has two channels, Museum of Everything Else and Look Mom No Computer, and he talks exactly like this, and I really would like him to be on the show, and I don't want him to think that I'm making fun of people with that accent. I, in fact, wish, if I could be any other dude, okay,
you want to be a Chaco soldier is what you're saying?
No, hold on. So it's me right now, right? Right under that would be like me, but like slightly smarter, a little bit more ripped and Hispanic, right? And then directly under that.
Oh, you could pass for
like,
Puerto Rican, which is like Black Hispanic, right? You could do it.
I've been told once that I could pass for a tan Puerto Rican, but and then slightly under that, like the first two are pretty far apart. Directly under being a slightly more in shape Hispanic person, I would be one of those. I would be a dude. I'll be a punk rocker who talks like this, bro. I would be the same except for punk rock. I'd be like, John, we got to build these things, but the wearables, the exoskeletons, the rehabilitative exoskeletons, none of them are punk rock, bruv. None of them are punk rock.
You'd be like Kid
You got to be able to spit. You got to be able to bang your head. Where are the exoskeletons for that, bruv? I'm trying to bite some bats.
Where are the exoskeletons for erectile dysfunction?
these odd. But so anyway, wait, right? I'm explaining what this was.
All I saw was tinfoil pads earlier, and I've been confused ever since. I
This
don't know if
is
you heard me
hold
say,
on.
I don't know, he might be grabbing a small gun to shoot his brains into a canvas like the Bjorkstalker.
Hold on. While I do this, change the meeting settings so I can share my
Oh,
screen.
absolutely. I didn't realize that it needed to be reset every time.
Come on, screw terminal.
Share screen here. We appreciate your your ability for this interlude. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
You should be eligible now.
All right. Screen. Am I sharing? Start the broadcast. There we are. 3, 2, 1. Listeners, it is a pleasure to see you here on my screen. We are going to. There. So, basically, what this is a diode bridge, right? And that's essentially just a configuration of diodes. So let's go to the Wikipedia article. That's the best way to do this. It's just a configuration of diodes that allows you to take an AC current and turn it into a really choppy DC current that can be filtered later into an even one. But so essentially, you'll see like this top one, the positive is there, negative is there. A diode only allows a current to flow in one direction. So when it's like this, boop, 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 and then when it flips, the diodes are configured so you're still, I guess, like parsing out each of the both the positive and negative components of the sine wave, if that all makes sense. So that's what this is. That's what this whole thing is. That's just a diode bridge covered in hot glue, and then like little screw terminals for the purposes of interchangeability. These are triboelectric nanogenerators. They're essentially layers of dissimilar materials with different like surface electron affinities. You put them pretty close together. You change the distance they are apart from each other in order to get them to exchange charge. And when you attach that to a circuit under certain conditions, and like you do other things like tune the distance, tune the thickness of your materials, what am I trying to say? The surface area of the materials can also be tuned. These are a bunch of variables, but essentially you get a variable voltage. So, but the voltage that they produce, in fact, hold on. If I'm going to share my screen again. I'll tune it. There we are. I'll tune it. Right. So let's go to Wikipedia article. There we are. Is there a Wikipedia? Yeah, there is. All right, word. Look at us coming up in the world with all these Wikipedia articles. Dude. I just want to graph. Wait, what am I doing? Duh. So, dude, basically, right, if we is my Apple Pencil dead? My Apple Pencil is dead. Christ. Hold on.
So if we kill Quar's Apple Pencil.
Yeah, so if we murder my Apple Pencil, if I change,
if you use your Apple Pencil as a catheter,
there we are. Okay, so we're gonna draw a graph really quickly. Let's say that this is our voltage, so this is V plus and this is V minus. This is 0 right here. Right. Essentially, when you compress these dissimilar layers, so let's say this is layer 1, right, real close, and this is layer 2, right. So in the first step, we're going to move these together, and then in the second step, we will separate them, right. Essentially, what this looks like in the first step. So if we start from 0, there is it's either. That doesn't need to be like that. It's either, I believe it's like this, and then like that, or something like that. But there's essentially that obviously wouldn't cross that axis. But there's essentially some sort of like asymmetric. Well, what am I trying to say? Non-sinusoidal alternating current. Hold on, flat right here. You murder it. Right. Oh, motherfucker! Here we go. Oh, I'm so close. I'm so close. I'm gonna kill this fly. Never mind. I'm gonna murder that fly later. I'm getting distracted and taking up too much podcast time.
Oh no,
But
it's absolutely fine. It covered a good pee break of mine.
no, hell yeah. But
Imagine this is how
so,
Albert Einstein released his like everything in his published
the
career.
photo after the fact, he's like, yo, I just figured out how branding and motion works. Like he's just holding the envelope that he did the math on like this.
He
That'd
just
be
comes
pretty
back
funny.
and like he's streaming it on Twitch and he's just like, yeah, my co-host just wiped the piss off of his thigh. Oh, you know what that reminds me?
Okay, but hold on. So the moral of the story is that these will generate a sort of alternating current when you. This one, I'm experimenting. I'm building a wearable setup so I can put these actually. These are for an insole. Blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter. I'm building the setup I'm working on right now is like writing code so I can make a system where I can like interchange these inside of a shoe and see how much like voltage power over time. No, those aren't the same, but voltage and or power over time I generate so I can come to a more empirical design morphology instead of trying to design something like very rationally with numbers from the front end. So this one has like a cardboard wafer in between, just like a cardboard rectangular spacer around the border. That's all together with masking tape, but this one's laminated. So we have a meter right here. And I am going to flip my boy. There we are, the boy's favorite. And this meter right here. And this is reading in this is like the one after the decimal place in volts. So I'm going to fix it. Shorting. That is not good. Oh, a cool dude would have tape, but I'm not that. So this is basically what I'm doing. Oh, I can get these in the same shot, right? So right, so that's just like a tap. And then if I form it more, you can see we get like peaks around. What is that? It's like a high of almost like 0.3 volts or some such.
Yeah,
But,
something like
and
that.
then this would produce like in like the microamps of current. But the idea is to optimize to optimize the design of these things, then to laminate them and incorporate them into a wearable that makes the process of logging kinesthetic information over time slightly less energy costly by being sort of regenerative. Because I figure sensors are only costing less and less power. Or I'm sorry, sensors. The reason. And if you're listening to this, I don't know if we probably talked about battery technology in the podcast before, but the reason our devices are better and the batteries last longer isn't because the batteries are better. It's because everything else is costing less power over time. So sooner rather than later, I think there will be a time where I can build a network of wearable sensors. Here's what I'm trying to say. Human-centric information will only multi-dimensional, as in like. Yeah, multi-dimensional human-centric information, like machines tracking your heart rate, and your skin temperature, et cetera, to gauge like your mood and whatnot. Like that's only going to become more and more commonplace. And so, I think that the design paradigm in regards to human-centric sensing is going to shift toward things becoming like minimally energy costly and ideally self-powered. And this is me trying to, I guess, lean in that direction.
I will
So
say that
that's
like,
the end of my rations fashion.
oh
I
yeah,
guess.
rations fast. That was a good wrap up to rations fashions. Trying to think. My parents' dog barks a lot, and part of my update is that I will have to take care of it possibly for free for like a period of 4 days, and I do not intend to take off of work to take care of their pets because I have not heard anything about getting paid for it. They're like,
Oh, that's exactly.
yeah.
And this is, I think we had one of our first episodes. One of the better points from the earlier episodes is Don worked for free. Who are you working for free?
Don't work for free. Don't work for your family
Don
for
worked for
free.
free. My name
My
is
mom was like
Don.
really
Work for free.
intent too on like me sleeping at their house. I'm like, you're not there. It doesn't make a diff to you. If the
Yeah,
only thing you're paying for is gas, I'm gonna gas down your car.
exactly. I guess two questions. Firstly, would it be like sort of all right to take care of a dog to the extent that dogs make you do exercise? I guess.
But
I mean,
I would
that
be
could be
driving
cool.
there to take their to put their dog on a leash in the backyard.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What, it's probably like a 25-minute drive or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
They would give me their car for that, but
Heard. All right.
I'm like, but I don't know. Like, I would take a car and get head anywhere. You
You
don't
know what?
understand me. Like,
When your parents died, that's the
when my
move.
parents die, if this is the only thing I'm getting, I will drive to. I will make a Facebook account called Head and then drive to all the followers.
Yeah. So just hear me out and hear me out. Is not all of your parents, all the money, the time, the love the parents put into you, isn't it to get head?
Yeah,
Is
so
that
that they
not
can
what
have
it's?
grandchildren.
Yeah, exactly. Because hear me out. If you don't foreplay orally, I forgot that this is a podcast. If you don't foreplay orally, what are you doing? Truly, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. What do you?
Right?
You just waddle on down to half draft,
And
half draft house for nothing.
exactly. Yeah. No. Exactly. But and to that extent, I would argue that bad sex makes stupid children. Now, I don't know. I don't have any. That's not. That's not a scientific fact. That's not a scientific
Jesus
fact.
Christ was born from medium large, medium large dick sex till orgasm with woman.
Well,
when
that's
God gave woman the first orgasm.
no. Well, because hear me
2,000
out.
years
Because
ago.
hear me out. Truly, what is the Holy Ghost? The feeling of the Holy Ghost. If you've ever been to a black church, what does the Holy Ghost
They were
feel
too
like
cold. Women were too cold for
when
50,000
you're
years
on?
to ever
When
come.
the Holy Ghost is just like a prolonged version of the what, the part of nutting when you lose control of your body.
Have you ever seen those? What were they called? The little sperm that floated through the sky in like Renaissance paintings. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think I do know.
It's like
The little sperm.
they have like
That's floating through the sky?
little golems that shoot through a sunbeam. Fuck, I will research this for the podcast next episode for sure.
Yeah. But
It's
and
terrible.
also, listeners, I don't want you to think that I just say nut willy-nilly to refer to orgasm. I just think it's funny. We're having fun on this show. Do you see what I'm saying?
I like you should only refer to nut in the context of I was nutted out of my mom's pussy at birth. Like that's how.
Oh wait, dude! I forgot that I was making the point I was making is that if you have bad sex, your children will be stupid, and therefore, because all the humans, we're selecting for each other to be as good as possible. Let's say, because you don't want a bad human mate, you want a good human mate, whatever that means to your human brain. Let's say, so we're all. I would argue that everything, all the ecological activity that led to your birth was so you could get head. That's my point. And we could almost end the podcast there. We really could.
Like McDonald's exists pretty much. Like food start. This is like, hey, this is a snack to have before you go get head.
Or after you get head.
Or if you get the snack, you might get head later.
Yes. If you are just going to give someone head and you think, but I can't just, what am I going to drive 25 minutes to give head? What am I just going to, for 25 minutes, just on the road there and back? That's 50 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That's almost
again, A Hobbit's Tale by Bilbo Baggins.